Welcome to Pitch in the Zone, a weekly gathering of coaches that help one presenter with a short presentation. Our coaches, like every week, include Nathan Gold, a high-stakes presentation coach from San Francisco. We have Scotty Spurson, also from San Francisco. She is a language coach. We have Michael Marchuk in Chicago. He's a CTO, an angel investor, an author, and many, many other things. And we have Rick Pollack. Rick is joining us from Boston, Massachusetts. He's a presentation coach as well. And Massimo Peroncelli from Thailand, a serial entrepreneur, and also a lot of experience in the pitching world. And today we have a special pleasure to welcome Suzan Shahrestani. Suzan is the first time here at Pitch in the Zone, and we are going to do something slightly different, because those 3 minutes that we are usually aiming for, it's just a number. It's just a number that at one point we tossed up because we see so many accelerators going for 3 minutes. But sometimes we have special circumstances, and you are looking at one of these special circumstances, Suzan. Next week, you are going to do a recording. Please tell us a little bit about this specific opportunity so that we can put on the right hats and look at your pitch from the correct angle.
Sure. Thank you for having me, everyone. I'm really excited to get your feedback. So I'm here today to prepare for an intro to our product launch video. I'm CEO of a company that's developed a shrimp biomass reader for the aquaculture industry. So my target audience are actually shrimp farmers globally. They can be found in Vietnam, Ecuador, Thailand, Indonesia, India, China. So hoping to keep the message simple so that it can transcend different languages.
Excellent. So that takes care of the target audience, and the time that you have available for this is somewhere
45 seconds to a minute.
45 seconds to a minute. So what we are gonna do is I'm gonna just run a timer that counts up, just a stopwatch, to see how long it will take you. All right. So, Suzan, take a deep breath, and whenever you are ready, the floor is yours.
Sure. All right. Aloha to all of our viewers. I want to tell you about a problem that shrimp farmers already know they have. They can't see their shrimp. If they can't see their shrimp, that means they don't know how many shrimp they have. How do they know how much to feed? How do they know if their shrimp are surviving? And how do they then manage harvest? These are all really big questions that, when left unanswered on a farm, can lead to a lot of guesswork. I'm really excited today to introduce the first of its kind, Minnowtech's BRS-1. We fondly refer to it as the Professor. We walk the Professor 5 minutes from the pond's edge and install it underneath the surface of the water. Back on land, at the edge of the pond, we hook up the count to our computers and provide the farmer with count and biomass within a few readings. This means farmers know how much to feed. It also means they know how to track their survival and can finally manage their harvest. It also means a more efficient farm, a more sustainable and profitable way of growing food. In developing the BRS-1, Minnowtech has counted millions of shrimp, and we're excited to bring the count to you. So if you're interested, please sign up on our website.
All right. So
I could do better, but yeah.
No. That's why we are here. And you also used a little bit more time than they might allot you. You came in at 1 minute and 25 seconds. So there might be somewhere where you want to shave off something. Michael always has tremendously cool and innovative feedback, and he just put in an opener into the chat box. So Michael, please elaborate a little bit on your thoughts after you've heard this 1 minute presentation.
Absolutely. So, I mean, if you're talking to the shrimp farmers, you don't have to tell them what their big problem is. So you say, you walk up to them and say, shrimp farmers, you know what your shrimp are up to? Do you see them? Do you know what I mean? Do you even know how many you have? Well, if you don't, we got a solution for you, and this is what it is, and why it's important for you to know how many shrimp you have, et cetera, et cetera. Again, I'm not clued into shrimp farming to know what the big challenges are, but you're talking to them. So if you sat down with a shrimp farmer, you don't have to tell them what their problems are. You should know them, and this is the big problem you're solving. So coming at that as one big thing, just opening up and talk with them personally is probably a good thing, because then they're feeling like you're talking to them as you're doing it. Second thing is, I don't know how many times you've practiced, but tell me right now, just without no preparation, what do you do? What's a shrimp farm thing do?
Count shrimp with sonar.
Okay, count shrimp with sonar. Okay, and then why is that important? Why does the shrimp farmer care? If I'm a shrimp farmer, why do I care if you count my shrimp with sonar?
It's like, you're throwing a party. You want to know how many guests you have, so you know how much food to order. You don't leave your guests hungry. You don't overfeed them. You're adjusting feed for a more efficient farm, optimized.
Okay, you just got your pitch. I'm sorry, we're done. We're done here. You start with the opener, and you just rewatch it again. You are set.
Yep.
I'm done. I'm done.
All right.
Couldn't agree more. Let's get a little bit more feedback, but I think it's going to be very, very tough to actually. So what I would like to do is just go through the group, see whether we have any additional feedback, and then give you a minute, Suzanne, to collect your thoughts and then try the new approach, so that you already are getting used to doing it slightly differently. How about that?
Sure.
Okay, so let's move on. Let me pick Massimo. You are next on the screen to me. So Massimo, what kind of feedback do you have for Suzanne?
Yes, thank you. Well, thank you for letting me know about this problem, because I really love shrimps. I never thought about that. So happy that somebody will help grow even more shrimps. I don't repeat everything that Michael said, but to me, you used they, but you said that you are talking to them. So say you, yes, not they, right?
Yes.
And I would like to feel a little bit more empathy toward them. It sounded like you didn't really care about the problem. It was like, kind of disconnected, So maybe in the tone, I don't really know. It's easy to judge, easier to judge than to do, of course. But I would like to tell this story, this problem, in a little more empathic way. That's my suggestion. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks a lot, Massimo. Moving right on, Rick, what kind of feedback do you have? So Suzanne can prepare her second round here in just a few moments.
Suzanne, I think Michael gave you all the information you needed, so I can't think of but I think really, that my comments is you spent a lot of time talking about the problem. I think the shrimp farmers know what that is, but yeah, the story you gave when you answered Michael's question about knowing how much and what they're doing. You also mentioned when you answered Michael, we count shrimp using sonar, but I don't remember you saying sonar in your minute. So I think it's more of starting right out is, do you know where your shrimp are? We have this professor that measures shrimp with sonar, so you can have the right amount of food for that. For the shrimp and manage them, because you went through, you can't see them. How do they know? Harvest them, but they know that. So I think it's just more of getting right to the solution instead of the problem. And if you want to have a little fun, there's so many. I usually come up with a lot of bad puns, which usually piss people off, but it's more of you've got a giant size solution to a shrimp problem. So I think you've got a lot of words there that, and I wouldn't throw too many in, but I think you definitely can put one in, and it'll get a few smiles and relax people a bit. And I'm sure shrimp farmers hear jokes all the time about that, but it is a very large solution, a great solution to a shrimp problem. So I think and Scotty might have a better language thing than I would, since she's a language person. But I think you definitely can, tie some of that stuff in. But yeah, if you've got just 45 seconds to do a video, it's get right to the solution. It's something that counts shrimp using sonar. And I think people understand that. They understand what sonar is. Here's something they can put in the area, and it monitors everything, and they really know the benefits. So I think you can get it in 45 seconds. But yeah, it's great. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Great job, Suzanne.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Cool beans. Rick, thank you very much. Moving on, Scotty, what kind of feedback do you have? Just anything that can help Suzanne create the next iteration right here and now.
Yeah. So Suzanne, how do they currently figure out how to give their shrimp parties?
They drop a net and are up to 75% inaccurate. So up to 75% accurate. So there are always error in how many shrimp they think are in the pond, but it's just dropping a small net in the pond and picking it up and counting the shrimp, but you're counting a 1 meter square surface area for a hectare sized pond. So it's not the best way of sampling your pond.
Yeah. And how did you come to this? How did you develop this?
Sure. Yeah, I have a PhD in marine science. I've been counting jellyfish with sonar for the past 5 years, and then started counting shrimp. Left the academic world because I was interested in the wild west of entrepreneurship. I'm a New Yorker. I like the speed. I like the hustle. And I've been in Hawaii now counting, using that same technology that I used for my PhD research to help aqua farmers and shrimp. So simple problem, but it's hard to see animals underwater, especially when they're moving.
Yeah, no, super cool. I mean, all of these things can be sprinkled in. The shrimp part for the shrimp farmers, shrimpers, I guess, right? You need to address them directly. I think just maybe you could slow it down a little bit, just, have crisp language around it, and then make it fun and interesting, because this is a promo. It's a promo opportunity. And Nathan also worked with a group called Fair Agora in Thailand, and Verificate specifically. I'm happy to put you in touch with them.
Yep.
They are in the shrimping space and could be a good contact for you there. So yeah, so circle back with me.
Sure.
Yeah, I think somehow to get to the pain point also, like we all get the stress of throwing a party, right? But we don't have to deal with the shrimp. So you might also be able to relay, when you can estimate how much feed you need, you can feed them better, right? Or you'll have plumper shrimp, or, whatever the pain points are for, it's not only the counting, which you solve, but it's efficiency in feed and harvest. Yeah, which is super cool. So, and your background, something in there ought to be sprinkled. You're the professor, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's super cool. Super cool. So, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Scotty. And you got one statement out of Suzanne that, Suzanne, you might want to really, really weave in there somewhere, and that is the counting shrimp. Like, I have counted shrimp my entire life, or something like that. The reason why I'm telling you this is when Nathan asked me whether we can do some swapping of presenters for today, he said, "You remember Suzanne? She is the lady that counts shrimp." And that immediately brought up an image of you. So this is something that you probably want to utilize as well. Okay, moving on. Jess, what kind of feedback do you have for Suzanne?
First of all, I love it. Super cool. I agree with what everyone said. You're clear. It's a very interesting, needed thing. And your background is very impressive. So definitely include a little bit more about your background. I would say for sure. Because you look very young. And so when I hear you're a PhD professor, I'm like, dang, she's been busy. So give me a little bit more of that. And then this is really nitpicky, but the name of it, I couldn't, is it BRS1? Minnowtech. I was like,
Yes.
slow it down and make the name very, very clear so that I can Google it or find it later, because I just couldn't understand what you said. But otherwise, I love it. Great job. And I love shrimp too. So best
All
of luck.
right. I guess I owe people shrimp here, huh? I guess a question, how do you guys feel about just, Nathan also hates the name. Well, how do you feel about just not saying the BRS1 at all? That's fine. Not bringing up because we talk about, we fondly refer to it as our nickname or our pet name, because BRS1 is such a mouthful and more for internal purposes. So I might not even mention it.
Well, how are you?
To me, the thought process behind, thought process behind it is, what does it add to the value of the message? If you have a BRS1 or the Shrimp Tech 2000 or the whatever, does it add anything to it? I mean, not really. I mean, you could say we have this technology and talk about it, but when it comes to the actual name, especially if it's like code name, there may be something behind it, but if it doesn't mean anything to anybody else except for you, is there a BRS2? I mean, are you coming out with 2.5 next week? It doesn't matter. That kind of stuff. I would say either come up with a really cool, flashy name like the Shrimp Tech 2000, where it doesn't mean anything anyway, or you just leave it out because it doesn't add anything to the presentation itself.
Okay. Appreciate
And
that.
I like the nickname. I mean, that one immediately stuck to me when you said the model number, and then you said we call it the professor or something like that, right? And to me, I would just leave out the number and say, we call it the professor, blah 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 blah, and just move on. Stuart, 30 seconds, 40 seconds. What can you give us?
Well, thank you, Suzanne. I really enjoyed it too. Just on that name point, the one thing I was going to add is you want to be consistent, because at one point you referred to the professor, another point to the BRS1, and that can get confusing. So whatever you decide, and I think I prefer professor, stick with that. The other small point, really, because I agree with everything that has been said so far, is that normally when you're speaking and you ask a question, you want to give the audience time to answer in their minds. And so it was slightly jarring, the number of questions you fired off at the beginning without time for us to think of an answer. And of course, I get that the format of this is such that you don't have much time. So my recommendation, other than getting to the point, which you've already done subsequently, but minimize the questions because you don't have very long for this. But I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, very cool. Nathan, if it's okay with you, let's skip you for the moment, right? And give Suzanne a few seconds, maybe a minute or so, collect your thoughts. And one thing I want you to consider as well, Suzanne, is what do you want the listeners to feel when they listen to you? When they listen to this message, what do you want them to feel? Okay, so let's you can switch off your camera if you want, take about 30 seconds, 40, 60, or if you're already ready right now, jump in.
Not quite yet.
Okay.
I guess,
collect
am I allowed
thoughts.
to ask a question?
Yeah,
Yes?
sure.
Oh, okay, great. So we talk about, the farmers already know their problem. But that party analogy is describing the problem. So I guess, let me think actually. That's not a question. I guess if they're not one and the same, is it just about how I'm phrasing the problem that's challenging? Or, we say shrimp farmers already know their problem, and I think that's hitting that on the head. I'm not caring about viewers that are not in the farming world. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And again, if you look in the chat, look at Michael's first comment that he made with the suggestion of, you all understand, no, where is it? Hey, shrimp farmers, do you know what your shrimp are up to?
Okay.
All right, we leave you alone for the moment, and
I'll come back. 10 seconds. 20.
Good. Sure.
All right. Good.
Well, Suzanne's thinking, I'm thinking of years ago, there was an ad that said, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your something is, or your children are? So it's like, it's 10 a.m. Do you know where your shrimp are?
That actually might not be such a bad line to start with.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good morning, shrimp farmers out there. Yes, yes, yes.
But she also needs to explain how it works, right? So
Maybe not how it works, but the benefits of the use.
Yeah, stick with the benefits. And actually,
It's
I
45
think
seconds.
no, I don't mean
the
it.
way that she approaches it,
Yeah.
the way that she approaches it with her personality, I mean, she's a very bubbly personality. Bring that through, because otherwise it could be anybody. And I think, in my mind, I've never specifically met a shrimp farmer, but in my mind, I'm thinking of a grizzled guy going, yeah, he's got a cigarette hanging out his mouth. Yeah, all right, you got shrimp in the bucket. We're gonna count them up, right? You know, if you're talking to those kind of guys, bring out some bubbliness, because they don't want to hear somebody like them go, oh, you got problems with your shrimp, you got to count them, right? You know, bring out your personalities. I think that effervescence actually brings more to the message than you think it does.
And we didn't talk about the price because she mentioned Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, so very low income countries. So if the price is low enough, maybe it makes sense just putting in like it's just starting $1,000 or something, if the price is cheap enough. Because for those people, price makes a difference. It's not like,
you know, CP is one of the largest corporations in the world. So they are dealing with the same cost structure than anybody who's located in the US as well. Just because they are paying their staff, their employees, so little money, you know. So, but anyways,
Well,
Suzanne, how are you doing?
I think I'm gonna just go for it and
just wing it. Just wing it. You know, this is recorded. Exactly. This is recorded. So the purpose of this is it doesn't have to be perfect right now. It just has to go in that direction. And then based on the recording, when you listen to it and listen to the feedback again, you'll be able to nail it within a day or two.
Okay. All right. Do you guys like the Aloha opening? I don't know. I played with that.
I loved it.
Okay.
I loved it.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Aloha to all the shrimp farmers out there. I'm going to tell you about a problem you already know you have. Nope. I want to start again. I'm sorry, guys. I went with my old intro. Yep. Aloha to all the shrimp farmers out there. Do you guys know what your shrimp are up to? I know you can't see them, so how do you know how much to feed? How do you know if they're surviving? And how do you plan for your harvest? Not knowing how many shrimp you have in your pond may seem like a simple problem, but it's one of the biggest challenges on the farm, and it could lead to a lot of guesswork for you guys. So I'm very excited to introduce to you the world's first biomass reader. Minnowtech has developed a product that we walk into your pond and install beneath the surface. Within a few readings, we can provide you with total biomass and count so that you can have a more efficient farm, a more profitable farm, and know how much to feed your shrimp. In developing our product, we have counted over 1 million shrimp, and we're excited to start counting near you. So please sign up for our trial partnership on the website below.
Excellent.
I skipped a bunch. But
No. It's really, really good. First of all, you know, big kudos to you for being able to just take all of that feedback and within a minute incorporate it in a way that I really felt if I were a shrimp farmer, you were now talking way more directly to me, right? So really, really, really well done there. What I would like to hear is perhaps because you say something like we developed a product, I would possibly like to hear some kind of an adjective there. that makes the product more exciting. We develop this exciting product, this groundbreaking product, or whatever adjective that you think fits the best. So let me open up again the round of feedback. Round number 2, this time, Stuart, sure, go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, well done, Suzanne. A couple of quick points. Much of it was very you focused. You were focused at them, but your very first sentence wasn't. You said hello or aloha to all of the shrimp farmers. You want to say to all of you shrimp farmers out there, and that way you're going to get it. And the second thing, just looking at the time, it's obviously better, but if you play this back and watch exactly what you said, I think you'll find spaces where you've got words that are not adding that much. And the one I noticed was Minnowtech has developed a product. You could say our product, and you can save seconds that way. So if you just look carefully, I'm sure there are little bits that you can squeeze, but well done. Enjoyed that.
Thank you.
All right, let me go in reverse order this time. If I can remember it from before, that would make Jess up next. Jess, what kind of feedback do you have for the second round of Suzanne's pitch here?
I'm at a loss. I thought it was great. I loved it. I think it's clear. I think you improved. I think you talked slowly so that it's easy to understand, but it was a good pace. It was the right pace. I thought you fixed the name. I loved it. I think you did great. So well done.
Cool. Thank you. Scotty.
Yeah. Hi. Sorry. And just to add to Stuart, I wouldn't say you guys, I would say you all, because there are plenty of women in the field like you are. So, keep it equitable. And also you might be able to say Minnowtech's professor can count your fish for you. It's easy to, you can install it in half an hour. It's handheld or whatever the buzzwords are for what makes it super easy. And it's priced competitively and it's under $1,000. I mean, I don't know what.
No.
No, I
think we're avoiding a price point. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you don't want to talk about that. Okay.
No.
So, well, what you're launching is a trial partnership.
Correct.
So, hey, aloha, you shrimp farmers. We're announcing our trial partnership, so you'll know what your fish are doing at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
It could be something along those lines as well. And I like the professor. Yeah, and a logo. You should have some sort of a logo. I'm assuming you will, and a direct link where people can do the trial. Yeah.
And we'll be on site on the shrimp farm in Hawaii, so we're filming there, and hopefully that'll be the backdrop. And so it's going to be an edited video at the end, and so I should be able to do multiple takes and have even a teleprompter if needed.
So this is the intro, and then you're going to do a full demo.
This is the intro, yeah. And I'm not the only person involved in the video. We'll have other people that are deploying instruments. We're talking to shrimp farmers. So it's kind of a live stream of a product launch where we're in the background answering questions to potential farmers as we live stream a video about the product.
So the intro is to tell about the product and get them to stay and watch the live stream.
Yep.
And then sign up for the trial.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's it. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Super cool. Let me know when you do it.
I will. Thank you.
All right. Very good. Thank you, Scotty. Moving on to Rick. Rick, what feedback do you have for the second round here?
Okay, Suzanne, much better. I think the only suggestion I would have is to get the word sonar in there.
Sonar.
I'm a technical guy, but when you said we use sonar to count shrimp, I understood what you were doing until you did. So I just, we can wade into your pond and the professor uses sonar to count your shrimp. And you might get a little alliteration in there with sonar and shrimp and a couple of S's in there, but that would make it memorable of the sonar and the shrimp. But much better. I think it just gets to the point. And again, you're talking to the shrimp farmers. You're not talking to a group of people. The use of the you, as Stuart said, is much better. That's going to connect with them.
Excellent. Thank you, Rick. And Massimo, what kind of feedback do you have for the second round here?
Yes, I think we all agreed that it's way better and it's almost perfect now. The only thing that you have to do now, I think, is remove a little bit of time. And when I was listening to it, you were telling them about the problem with 1, 2, 3, and maybe 4 sentences. I was really expecting it to move next to the solution. So I think you can cut off the last sentence about the problem. To me, it's just too much. So you can save some time on that. But other than that, as everybody said, good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. And Nathan, you dropped off for a little while there. I'm not sure if you heard the second pitch or parts of it. What kind of feedback or comments do you have at this point?
Yeah, I'll have to follow up with Suzanne afterwards because as soon as she started speaking, my speaker went away. So I tried to get it back up before she was done and nothing worked. So I'll follow up by watching it afterwards. But from the sounds of it, it really seems like what we did today, Suzanne, was beyond what you had hoped for and hoped me as well in terms of getting all these wonderful people to help you dial in these 45 seconds. What we forgot to tell all of you, I think, here is that these 45 seconds are not by themselves. They're being wrapped up with other, we did say that earlier? Okay.
We kind of covered it while you were gone. Yes.
Okay.
That this is just the introduction piece to something bigger at the other end of it.
That's right. So I'm really pleased
Suzanne,
that we got to this point. Excellent. I'll follow up.
Suzanne, Nathan just said this might have exceeded your expectations. Are you happy with what you have gotten from this group in the last 30 minutes?
Totally. I think I'm very appreciative. I really like the feedback. You know, if you're in your own world in a bubble on an island in the middle of the Pacific, it's very hard to get critical feedback. So I appreciate that from you guys. Always appreciate that, and always looking to make the message more clear. And you guys are the professionals. I'm more the scientist that sits behind the computer, right? So I trust you guys so much. Thank you, truly.
Thank you, Suzanne, and you are a real pleasure to listen to, and we all wish you, of course, all the best for next week. And if anybody watching this video wants to take advantage of all this collective wisdom and experience from all of our coaches here, feel free to hop on our website. It's presenterzone.com/pitchzone. Scroll down to the bottom and you can apply for a spot to pitch in the zone. And with that, I wish you all a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. And we shall see each other next week. And Suzanne, again, thank you very much and happy shrimp counting. See you. Bye.